Hello, I'm back. I was busy collecting trash, but I'm gonna go check the convenience store for a map of the city, so I can see if there are any of those white checks I can reattempt. What's this?
Is this about the questions again? Because I don't really know anything.
I need to exchange this novelty check for cash. Wow, I didn't know you worked for the union, sir. She rolls up the giant novelty check. Looks like she's seen it before and slips it under the counter. Anything else I can do for you? No. No. I don't want those. I want a map. Those are medicines. Ooh, a raincoat. Looks nice. Nice. Okay. Okay. I'm not sure where else I could get a map. Establish authority. Let Everett know I've unlocked the door. I guess I could go do that. I gotta run all the way back over there. Shit. Let's try this again. It's unclear whether you actually have muscle memory. Yep. I can try it again. Try it again. Your fingers run over the dial pad. 005. That's the dialing code for Revachol. 90, 49, 52, and a moment of hesitation before entering the final numbers. 993. Calling. Calling. Still calling. Then a crackle. Someone picks up. They say, Video Revachol, 24-hour video rental. We rent 8 and 10 millimeter film for home use. This is Lemmy. How may I help you? The voice of a youngster on the other end sounds as enthusiastic as that of a man walking towards the gallows. Oh. What is this place? Video Revachol is a 24-hour video rental. We rent 8 and 10 millimeter film for home use. This is Lemmy. No, I meant, what is this place to me? Sir, I don't know. It's a video rental. Maybe you rent videos here? Do you know me? No. Why did I call you? Maybe you called to extend your rental period. Do you need to extend your rental period? My name is Harry DuBois. Do you have anything on my name? Let me fire up the machine. Keys are being pressed in the background. DuBois, DuBois. Here we are. You haven't rented anything in 5 years, but you still have a copy of Blue Ocean Hell from November 46. Ooh, not a fun film, that one. What kind of film is that? It's not an easy watch, he reads. After the death of his daughter and subsequent divorce, Zizmek immigrant Idigius Wolsik tries to come to terms with the onset of dementia. No wonder no one's been missing it. Still, it would be great if you could return it to us. We're on the corner of Voyager and Maine. Call is terminated by the other party. You're left with this discomforting sound of the disconnect tone. Cool. Well, that was totally worth it. Oh my god, so many bottles. I can pick up after myself. I love how they're all individual too, just to make it really monotonous. This is what I like in my game design. I want it to feel as annoying as if I were actually picking up a bunch of bottles. But can I return the picture? No. It's my picture now, baby.
Mr. Dubois, every worker...
Leans towards you, waiting for you to complete his sentence. Every worker is an organ in the great state organism of war. Also looks just like me.
Why the hell not? Now, how can I help you today?
I opened the door you asked. Can we discuss the murder now? Very glad to hear that, Harry, he says with a smile. One question, you didn't actually happen to stumble in and see what's inside the apartment, did you? There's no way to sway this man in any direction. He is unsuggestible and unswayable. Just tell the truth. I may have gone inside and seen a collection of racist mugs. Just as I thought. Culturally antiquated mug collection. What a weasel. He shakes his head, pissing on Everett's Rainbow Coalition. Now let's get down to brass tacks. It's time for men like me and you to figure out who's killed who and why. He pretends to roll up his sleeves. Why do you pretend to roll up your sleeves? Real police work is going to start happening now. I promise you, Harry, this is going to be good. The mug collection I mentioned was in the apartment. I found a similar mug in the trash with the hangman's clothes. Racist mugs in the trash and in the apartment? He grabs his head with both hands. You guys are light years ahead of me. I have so much confidence in the ability of your organization. I'm relieved you're doing this and leaving me to do what I do best, helping people with the power of politics. Do you think this weasel has something to do with my case? Oh, no. I don't cross paths like that. He shakes his head, laughing. All I want is for you to succeed in your investigation. I would never complicate things for you. But this weasel might have cleaned up after the killers. Believe me, Harry, he's a nobody. Just your basement variety nobody. Can't imagine him being connected to a high-caliber case like this. But he does live nearby. Maybe it's a pedantic weasel. Fascists are known to be neat freaks. I feel like I'm a real detective right now, Harry. Am I getting this right? He imitates bashing something with an imaginary baton. Great technique. You'd make a great sergeant. Oh, you're too kind, Harry. Way too kind. I know I'm not a real police officer. You are. I've heard about a connection between the lynching and the strike. I'd like to hear what you know about it. By now, I'm sure you figured out who the dead man was working for. The bad guys, Wild Pines, sent to scare us. Another violent measure of the top hats against us flat caps. I'm listening. Harry, this strike is the culmination of many, many mistakes made by the Wild Pines group. They tried to shut the strike down by sending in armed mercenaries. Our victim. He nods gravely. A security contractor. Can you imagine that? Workers standing in peaceful protest, united in the spirit of fellowship, and they send hired killers to mow us down with machine gun fire. He performs a motion as if spraying bullets from a machine gun. I'm talking beasts. Hardened killers from proxy wars in Yeset, Semenine, Sarah Marisa, you name it. They've done it. Raping, killing, burning villages, killing little children for the Senorita Pineapple Company, Harry. Everything they did there, they brought over here. They want to turn Revachol into a third world slum. Honestly, the only thing they didn't do is kill the village elephant. Go on. Now, I haven't personally witnessed the brutalities out there. I have the luxury of staying in my container, you see. If I need to go somewhere, they just move my container. He laughs. Wait, they move the container? Yes, I'm an old man, Harry. My legs aren't what they used to be. They lift my office with that big crane. It's actually very fun. You should try it. But enough about me and my fun container. His face turns serious. The killers the company hired. I think there were 3 of them, all hardened commando types. One of them got downright suicidal, getting drunk, violent, a little rapey. He shakes his head. Even their own negotiator couldn't control him. That's your boy, the one who likes hanging out and trees. How did he end up hanging from that tree? Harry, what you need to realize is, we dock workers are not pushovers. We got grit, Harry. This whole neighborhood does. Push us hard enough and we push back. And when we do, he raises his finger, we push to kill. Wait, the whole neighborhood is in on it? Potentially, Harry, potentially. We got arm wrestling champions, rowing club people, ex-coal miners, tough guys, all ready to spring into action for their home base. Who exactly did the pushing? There's a militant wing inside the Union, a group of people whose duties don't involve manual labor, but peacekeeping in the neighborhood, making sure everything runs smoothly. Sounds a bit like organized crime. They're like you, idealistic people who want to make sure that bad things don't happen, and if they already have, well, punishment must follow. Again, it sounds like organized crime. You believe they killed the hangman. One day Titus Hardy, leader of this peacekeeping faction, comes up to me and says, "Boss, socialist democratic fervor drove us to take it upon ourselves to kill this beast that was burdening the land." He probably worded it differently, but that was the idea. Sure sounded to me like they killed him. He chuckles. I gave them 2 weeks paid leave and told them to lay low to avoid retaliation. Are you not afraid that we're going to arrest him? Oh, I'm not at all worried about that. These are not the kind of men who get arrested. They're Martinet boys, tough and gritty. I'd like to see the man who takes them in. He chuckles. Besides, I sent my lawyer girl to look after them. Despite his boastful tone, he's having doubts about something. But what? Maybe he doesn't believe the boys really had it in them. They're his boys after all. I think you're sharing information with the police because you don't think they actually did it. It's very clever, Harry. Yes. They might have said it just to impress some girls or something. He rubs his chin. But Titus has a bad temper, so the chances are 50-50. How do you know the mercenaries were hired by the shipping company? How do I know? Let me tell you about these people. He slams his fist on the desk. That's their MO. It's what they do. Last winter, some poor workers in Terminal E went on a little strike. The company sit in Sediment, a security contractor. The strike was over the workers' right to wear protective footwear, Harry. These guys turn up and start beating people. Tell you what, Harry, I wouldn't be surprised if we got the same mercenary company after a little rebranding, and I'm sure as hell not surprised to see an army of scabs under my gates. So you think the security contractor is organized by the scabs? You said it, Harry. Oh, the fist lands on the desk again. One of those guys looks big enough to take down that proverbial elephant. Boys like that don't just happen to show up during strikes. The name of the company is Krennel this time. It might have been Sediment before. Of course, you're always one step ahead of me, Harry. I'm no genius. I'm in this position because people like me. The remaining mercenaries are organizing a tribunal to take on the Hardys. Tribunal? He appears aghast. That sounds serious, Harry. We Union men should be shitting ourselves. He rubs his chin and smiles suddenly. I wish you hadn't told me that. I'm gonna lose sleep over this. Let's change the subject. He's clearly happy about the tribunal. You don't seem too worried about... Oh, Harry. What do I really think about the tribunal? You're trying to climb the second base with old Everett before he even courted him properly. He wants you to do more things for him before. You mentioned a lawyer girl? Oh, Liz is a bright one. He grins broadly. I paid for that law degree myself, thinking it'll probably turn her all fancy. But hell, Harry. She came back a firebrand socialist. Sometimes she scares me with her zeal. Tell me about Titus Hardy and his crew. Oh, they're simply fine young men. All 7 of them. Exemplary union members, always working to advance their position in the local socialist democratic movement. Core members. Old Theo used to run them, but things really kicked into gear when Titus took the reins and named the group after himself. Gotta love his initiative. What more can you tell me? Who's second in command? Who's the most violent? Harry. They're almost all of them great guys, born leaders, real whatever happened. I'm sure they only had the best interests of Revachol in mind. Work with them. Hell, interview them, but don't fight them. They really are just like you, men who like beer, women, and some order on the streets. Everett, I met these Hardys. Can you ask them to cooperate with me? But of course, it's the least I can do for my good friend Harry. I'll do it right after we've concluded this talk. You can go now and tell Titus about this, see what he has to say. Also, Harry, here's 5 real. He holds out a banknote. Why are you giving it to me? I'm not giving you anything. I'm just holding out 5 real. He's putting me on his payroll. And I'm gonna take it. Good boy. A real team player. He rubs his hands together. Now, do you have any more questions? Good talk. Let's conclude for now. Was it a good talk? He leans back, suddenly worried. I'm not sure we made much headway here. I was hoping we'd bust the case wide open. Heck, I even wanted to tell you what I really want to achieve with the strike. I don't know what happened, Harry. I wanted you to feel like Mr. Martinet, and, of course, I also wanted you to find your gun. Great sadness comes over him, but it's like I can't completely trust you. Yet. Yet? Yes, Harry. It's like I can't fully trust you if you're not a man of the left, he says, slowly shaking his head. I want to, but I just can't. Man of the left, so you have to be a social democrat? He's been hurt too much in the past by men who aren't social democrats. This is another corrupt scheme, isn't it? I'm neither left nor right. I do what my heart tells me to do. The world's most laughable centrist is the achievement I get. What does your heart tell you about your lost gun, Harry? Does it tell you to forget about it? Or do you think it wants to be found? He picks something from his teeth. I think it's lonely and cold. I think it wants to be found, and I have a proposition for you. What would this entail? Once again, I require nothing unethical or illegal of you. You just need to get 2 little signatures on this piece of paper. He pulls out an envelope, and then mail it to my accountant in La Delta. What are the signatures for? I'm glad you asked, Harry. The Union is going to build a modern youth center in Martinet. He grins broadly. It will be righteous, and we're going to get those teenagers off drugs and on roller coasters. Roller skates. There's a nameless little street on the coast with some old houses around it. Most people have already signed. I just need 2 more signatures to get this mission off the ground, Harry. Where is this place exactly? On the coast, Harry, across the canal. There's a cul-de-sac there, a little village, they're calling it. A gloomy place. You'll find it. I trust your detective skills, Harry. What will happen to the current occupants? They're just going to have to deal with the construction noise for 6 months, and then they'll be living like kings, right next to a fancy new youth center, designed by the best architects from Stella Marie. Fine. If I happen to be there, I can ask them. You bring joy to my heart, Harry. Such a pleasure to be working with you. Here. He hands you an open white envelope. You need to get signatures from Isabel Sadie and Lillianne Carter. Cul-de-sac is right past the pawn shop and across the canal. I hear that there's some trouble with the water lock, but they should fix it by Wednesday morning. Once you have the signatures, mail this to 13022 La Roca in La Delta. Then we can talk about your gun. He runs his fingers through his thin hair. See you soon, Debrador. Alright. It's now 2100, so I'm gonna go back to that apartment building and see if that guy is there. Wish I could remember quite where it was. I'm sure I'll figure it out. Although the thing is, I don't really need their help. I don't think, because I was inquiring with them about the murder. But although I still need information because I'm unsure if the Hardy Boys actually did it or they're just taking credit for it. This strike just goes all day. These people never rest. Which one was it? Apartment 28, sometime after 2100. I think it's on the balcony.
Gendarmerie, you found me.
The young man on the balcony gives you a bright smile before taking another drag from his cigarette. His slender figure is backlit by city lights, its distant streets and motorways flashing like diamonds. Feels like a Friday. He seems to be in a good mood tonight. I found a key hidden under a stone. Was it yours?
It was mine. My friends use it from time to visit me.
As he looks at you, something sparkles in his eyes.
So tell me, are you here to make things right again?
That's what I'm aiming for, yes.
Beautiful.
He says again. A nearby street lamp casts shadows on his chin, drawing out the slender cheekbones.
I have some good news for you. My Sunday friend is visiting me tonight. I told him about you, and he'd like to say hello. Step in. He's already waiting.
By the way, I'm really digging the view here. Point to the city skyline. That's why I chose this place. He looks away, his cigarette end glowing in the dark. Martinet is special, isn't it? Is it Friday tonight? Feels like Friday. Yeah, it does feel like the end of the week. Such gentle weather. Even the rain feels nice. He leans over the railing and sticks out his hand to feel the rain. Why would I want to meet your friend? Trust me, you do. Very well, I'll talk to him. But first I want to talk to you. I have so many questions. That's nice, but I don't have anything to tell you. It's my friend you're looking for, not me. He takes another drag of his unfiltered cigarette and looks around. It's getting dark, and the neighboring windows have lit up one by one. Downstairs, a cat crosses the yard, disappearing into the bush. Besides, I've got to run. He's going to leave you alone again. That's sad. Something tells you you're never going to talk to an individual this cool or mysterious ever again. But I just found you again. Just look at it. He gestures towards the distant motorways, all leading to Golden Lead Delta. It's a beautiful night. Who's going to stay in on a night like this? Only if you promise that we'll talk again. It's important. We'll talk, Smoker assures you, brushing his hand through the hair. Just not tonight. Take care, alright? He says with another disarming smile before slipping off into the night. And he's gone again. Looks like it's becoming a theme for him. Well, let's go talk to his friend. Quarterly Business Magazine. Old photo of the same apartment. Dated year '01. Expensive men's perfume lingers in the air. buckets of paint on a layer of old newspapers. Exquisite canopy bed made of metal. Empty ashtray. Dishes soaked in a pot. Flyers for underground parties. Dates for open lectures at a local university. I don't want to be holding my ledger. Oh wait, it gives me empathy and yeah. Let's check these things out too. Party dragon silk robe. Yes. And he just doesn't
Officers of the Revershal Citizens Militia.
The man in business casual removes his cufflinks. His hands are clean and well manicured. This is a man who knows the importance of appearances.
My name is Charles Villedron. I am an official with the coalition government. I work for the Institute of Price Stability on assignment from Sir Leclerc.
I don't know what any of that means.
I heard you talking to my friend outside. Very good. Super. I'm here to assist you in any way possible. Ask me about the hanging.
No, first ask an innocuous personal question to get the interview off on the right foot. Before we get to that, tell me where you got this beautiful silk robe.
Oh, we got it from an atelier in the East Delta Commerce Center. Personally, I think it's a little culturally insensitive, but the material is great. Sadly, the shop is now out of business.
Well, shit.
That's really all I can tell you about it.
He forms a little rooftop with his fingers. Cold air sweeps in from the balcony. You actually witnessed the lynching? I'm sorry to say I did, officer. The man gives a solemn nod. Start from the beginning, if you don't mind. Officer, it's very difficult to describe what I saw that night. It was so surreal to me, like in a play. Meaning it was terrifying? Oh no, the man shakes his head. I mean, it was so strange I could barely believe what was happening. I was on the balcony when it happened, getting some fresh air. I remember that first they came in, carrying what looked like a body. Then I saw all the surrounding windows go dead, one by one. That's when I understood I should not be seeing this. Who are they? Can you describe them? Hang on a sec. Need some water. I couldn't see their faces well, but there were quite a few of them. But they were very loud and very martinet. He pauses, looking for the right wording. Let's just say that the laboring classes can get rather expressive with their profanities. How many of them were there? Couldn't tell you exactly. Less than 10, maybe 8. What happened next? I went back inside. Wait, so you didn't actually see the lynching happen? Officer, the yard was pitch black. There was nothing to see, but I could still hear their voices. They were threatening to kill the poor man. Were they men? Women? All men, I presume, but again, couldn't see very clearly. What ethnicity? I believe they were mostly white, though I believe I saw 2 Areopagites among them, and I'm quite certain that one spoke with a Mesk accent. What happened next? Well, that's the strangest part, officer. Nothing happened. It was oddly quiet for a public lynching. What do you mean nothing happened? They lynched a guy. Eventually, their shouts died down, and that was all. There were no gunshots, no celebratory shouts, no nothing. Why didn't you call the RCM? The man wipes his glasses. You're right, of course. That is what one is supposed to do in such circumstances. I was simply in shock. I'm afraid I don't have anything else to add. Can you at least tell me when it happened? All I can say is that it was late. So let me get this straight. You didn't actually witness the hanging itself, did you? No, I didn't see the corpse until the following day. Well, that was a waste of time. I'm sorry I couldn't have been of more assistance. What's an official like you doing in Martinet? Coalition is only looking out for the price stabilité. He raises an index finger. Inflation is a killer, like a heart disease, blocking the normal circulation of the economy. Must be controlled. The economy impacts the entire international community, which is why it requires international oversight. Okay, but what are you doing here in this apartment? Ah, well, I'm renovating it. It is an interesting project. The building used to be a 12-story skyscraper before the cannons took the top 4 stories off. This, of course, happened when the coalition forces landed here. He smiles. You could say I'm undoing some of the material damage the international community caused when we arrived here. So you're some kind of bureaucrat? Yes. As I said before, I am a commissioner from Sur La Clef, working for the Institute of Price Stabilité. Stabilité. He glances at his watch. This is one of the main projects of the Moral Intern. Wait. There isn't actually an Institute of Price Stabilité, is there? Or maybe there is. God, it's impossible to understand whether someone from the Moral Intern is joking or not. What is this international community? La Communauté Internationale is what Revotrolians colloquially call the coalition. In other words, the nations that stopped the disaster of the revolution. What do I call the coalition? Your employer, technically speaking, the governing authority of Revotrol. The RCM is but one part of this provisional administration. What is the price stabilité? It is the most important thing. It doesn't tell me anything. It's the central goal of any sound monetary police. Maintaining the price stabilité is essential to maintaining high levels of economic activity, which is essential for maintaining high levels of employment, which is essential for maintaining the social stability. How does this benefit us exactly? Take your daily bread, for example. Too much inflation, bread becomes too expensive. Too much deflation, it becomes too cheap for bakers to produce. That's why the Institute of Price Stability works to keep inflation just below 2%. Below 2% of what? But not too far below. No, too below is also bad. Below, but close to 2%. You're not answering my questions at all. Coalition believes in the importance of informing the public about the benefits of the price stability. Transparency is one of our principles. Would you like an informational pamphlet? Sure. Sound monetary police is essential for addressing uncertainty. Stability is the raison d'être of the moral intern. It's the reason why I identify as a moralist. He pats his pockets. But oh, I don't have my leaflets on me today. That's too bad. You can always call our information line. Making information available is part of the moral intern's commitment to transparency. I've heard about the moral intern before, but I want to know more. It's the International Organization for Moralists, hence Moralist International. The Institute of Price Stability is just one of its mind babies as the coalition. You a moralist? But of course. But why? Because moralists believe in a normal, stable world governed by democratic values. What is a normal, stable world? The Occident is part of the normal world. Orange sur la cliff. Martinet doesn't seem very normal or stable to me. Martinet? No, Martinet is something else. What about the rest of Revotrol? Is it part of the normal world? Revotrol is generally difficult. It's led by an interim government, which means it hasn't fully achieved full democracy. But they are working towards it. You're doing all very well here, relatively speaking. He gives you an approving nod. It's like every time I'm talking to people, I'm choosing option D, none of the above. Is that moralism? Is this option D usually the most reasonable answer? Yes, everything else is super extreme. It's like I'm living with a bunch of lunatics. Sounds like you're a moralist. Indeed, my friend. Welcome. Moralism is all about compromise and achieving the achievable. It's pragmatic, realistic, and level-headed, an ideology for doers. Are you a doer, my friend? Looks to me like you are. Now, enough of this delightful political interlude. Was there anything else you wanted to ask? Tell me about Shirley Cliff. What's there to say? It's a modern, urbanized country that measures very high on the Human Development and Freedom Index. Mostly, though, it's known as the executive heart of EPIS. Moreover, it is a great sponsor of less emerged countries. Revotrol is only one of its many darlings whose progress it supports and cherishes. What makes Revachol Shirlaclef's darling? Because a great percentage of Revachol's culture hails from Shirlaclef. Its language, people, its cuisine even, or at least in the downtown La Delta area. Jamrock and other parts of the international zone have been mercifully spared of Shirlaclef's love for meatballs and mashed potatoes. Tell me about Oranhe. Oranhe is an exemplary nation who, as a core member of EPIS, contributes 28% of our annual budget. Next to Shirlaclef, Oranhe is probably the most prominent member of the international community. Which one of them is more EPIS? As founding members, they are both very EPIS. Oranhe carries a lot of political weight, while Shirlaclef takes care of the business side of things. Shirlaclef hosts the headquarters of the major EPIS institutions. Okay, but outside of EPIS, what is Oranhe? Oranhe's economy is one of the most advanced in the world. It has successfully transitioned away from heavy industry to advanced services and generally acts as an engine for sustainable change in the international community. Can't you just talk like a normal person? About what? About Oranhe. Just tell me what it's like there. Oh, it's very urban and very well organized. Their streets are clean, their horse cars run on time, people are polite and efficient. Like I said, they're an example for less emerged nations to follow. Enough business, let's talk something else. Can you tell me about your friend? Ah, my friend. My friend is a good young man. His family immigrated here from Kedra, and life has not been easy for him, but he understands the importance of education. He's taken his future into his own hands, and that's all that matters. What's Kedra? Kedra is a candidate member of EPIS, but between you and me, their potential membership is a more contentious issue. What do you mean? That it's never going to happen. They entered negotiations at 21, and it's been pending ever since. What's this EPIS thing you keep talking about? EPIS is a very special program developed by the Moral Intern to support certain Occidental nations. It began as a unified system of weights and measures, which proved to be a wild success. Nothing but kilograms and centimeters as far as the eye can see. God, yes, sweet standardization, the backbone of rationality and commerce. It was such a wild success that we expanded it into an economic union for the processing of steel, another success. And between you and me, the Moral Intern feels emboldened by this success. Emboldened to take EPIS to the next level. Okay, but like, what does it stand for? Why, it stands for progress and stability, like the Moral Lantern as a whole. No, what do the letters stand for? It's been such a wild, extraordinary success thus far. We're very excited to take it to the next level. You don't even hear the words I'm saying, do you? Supranational Political Alliance, the United States of Occident. Is it going to be like this place here? Me and Revachol? No, it's not going to have transparent democracy. Is Revachol going to be part of EPIS? It's one day going to be a candidate member of EPIS, sure. Didn't you say that candidate members never become real members? No. Candidate members do become members. Why do we even have the whole system in place if they don't? It just takes time. Time and evaluation. But we're talking about my friend here, not politics. He chuckles gently. How did you two even become friends? How did any of us become friends? Bad things happening on the Insulindian Isla, oil platforms ablaze in the night, civil wars lasting for years. Finally, the international community is forced to step in. What are you talking about? No one becomes friends that way. Au contraire. It's how millions of people end up where they are, meeting the people they meet. It's how I came here, and my friend too. You still haven't told me who he is. Sorry, who? The man throws a quick glance at his watch. Your friend, the smoker on the balcony. We were just talking about him. I told you, officer, he's a bright young man here to pursue his education. Education is the foundation of our future, especially the arts. It's a cornerstone of our civilization. Fine, but what's his real name? Officer, you have to understand, I can't give you his personal information. I'm sure you have your own methods and databases, right? Please don't put me in this situation. So all you can tell me about him is that he's here to study the arts. He's deeply enmeshed in the study of fine arts, yes. Which arts? He's a truly free spirit. He likes all the arts. Perhaps graphic design, printmaking, who knows? The world is open wide for a talented youth like him. What are you doing in his apartment by yourself? Just enjoying the view. The man smiles, nodding to the windows. That view? What view? It's dark outside. Listen, he says, raising his hand. A baby is crying in the neighboring apartment. Someone's baby is crying. No, listen, he says again, looking outside. The Insulindian Bay? What about it? This place used to be a luxury accommodation before the revolution. Apartments, of course, were much bigger then. A few walls have been added here and there, leaving some of the tenants without a private bathroom or a kitchen. But the million-reel view stays. You can't take that away. He knocks on the balcony door, his face mirrored in the darkened glass. I was asking about your friend. My friend comes and goes. I'm sure you'll see him around. He's a busy bee. I had something else in mind. That's all I need. A moment, officer. Do you have everything you need from me? I'm afraid we won't have the chance to speak again once you leave. Hold on, why can't we talk later? It's against diplomatic best practices for an official in my position to be discussing murders with local militiamen. He pauses, and I'm pressed for time. After you leave, I should be leaving as well. It's not the real reason he's so apprehensive. Men in his position shouldn't be seen loitering around in underprivileged young men's apartments in the middle of the night. Thanks for the heads up, but my work here is done. Of course, glad I could help. Well, we learned a lot about the political system here in Revachol. He wasn't very helpful, but he did provide possible evidence that it was in fact the Hardy Boys rather than somebody else. Just because it was multiple people, unless it was another group of multiple people, but I don't know. They certainly had motive. I think I'm gonna walk back to the inn. And it's getting pretty late in the day, so I'm gonna call it there and continue next time. Thank you for watching.